joining us today for another episode of What's Your Why Wednesday. I'm Laura Brandao, and I am joined by the lovely Jamie Cavanaugh, the COO at Amerifund. All right, Jamie, number one, thank you for being with us today. And here's our first question. We all came into the mortgage industry, usually by accident. But what keeps us here is that it's tied to our personal and professional why. So, Jamie, please share with us, what is your why?
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I have a lot of whys. The first why is there is no industry like our industry. Our industry takes people from all walks of life, all backgrounds, people with master's degrees and people who barely finished high school, people with, with mortgage experience and people without, who come into this business and who, if they're willing to work hard, if they're willing to learn, and if they're willing to master their craft, can carve out a place for themselves, a place, whether it's in operations, in processing or underwriting or closing, or a place, whether it's in sales as a loan officer, a branch manager, or even as a leader. Our industry provides opportunities for everybody who's willing to roll up their sleeves and do the work. And so that's my professional why. But I think that my personal why really is because from a young age, my mom was a real estate agent. I kind of got, accidentally tossed into the business by virtue of being with her so often on the weekends doing the open house thing. When I had the opportunity to assist a loan officer at her company, I realized how much I loved the puzzle of the loan and understanding how much, each borrower had their own story and how the puzzle pieces all fit together. I wanted to learn more and more and more, and I couldn't stop that learning process until I had to master every job that there was in our business. And so I've loved being a part of this industry. It's my 24th year in the business, and I've loved every bit of it, of evolving with it, of watching it evolve, of being part of some amazing change that we see in our industry today. And so I think that those are my whys.
Yeah, when I started doing this, I thought to myself, you know what, as an industry, people know, some people have different preconceived notions about the mortgage profession, right? Some people have thoughts of back in the 07, 08 days and what it was like. And here I came along and I said, the people that have been in our industry, like you, like me, that have been our careers, right? Our entire careers in the mortgage industry, we're here because it has a special place in all of our hearts. And that's what keeps us here. That's what makes it so that we will always continue to just, strive to get better and give back to this wonderful industry. And what better way than to show how much we care and why we're tied to it. So Jamie, at this point, I'd like to ask you, give me a story of a time when you realized the impact that you have on a family or in the world being a mortgage professional.
Well, I have a story that's recent, and that is the coolest thing about this story, because here I am, I've been in this business forever, and I don't even really directly originate that much anymore. And even though I started out in the business, cutting my teeth on FHA loans, where many times back in those days, it took many, many family members to qualify together on a loan in order to get their first home. That in and of itself was hugely, hugely rewarding to me to be able to bring that to life and see them, become homeowners. But right at the start of COVID, I would say probably around April, May of 2020, a customer was referred to me by a friend of mine. She was actually a parent at my daughter's school, and a friend of hers had gone to several different mortgage companies and tried to get financing, and they had told her that there just weren't any options for her. So I started to talk to her, really not knowing anything about the background of the situation. And the more that I talked to her, the more that I knew that no matter what, I was going to find a way to get this woman a refinance. And here's why. Her husband had become very ill very suddenly and had unfortunately passed away shortly before their retirement years were about to begin. Conversely, COVID hit, and she lost her job of several decades. Her adult children were trying to pull together to help her, and they had managed to continue to make the mortgage payment with her throughout, this process in order for her to keep her home. But she was quickly running out of time and running out of options. The issue was that she had a large retirement account that she could access, but no paycheck coming in any longer. And no other lender had thought of the fact that this person was of retirement age and could set up regular distributions using her very substantial account that her husband had left her. And using those distributions would have monthly qualifying income and could then qualify for a refinance. That refinance extended out her mortgage term from a 15-year to a 30-year and lowered her rate and got her to a mortgage payment that she could afford. We were able to do that for her in 30 days, well in advance of the time frame that she needed to get it done within in order to keep the house. But it went even deeper. When we closed, she shared with me that this is a big one. She shared with me that some of the small amount of cash that she took out actually was reimbursing her for paying for her husband's funeral expenses, but she had to borrow money from others in order to pay. That is how dire these straits were. That is how many blows life had dealt this family over this period of time. And so when we were able to close her loan for her, you talk about a reminder of why we're in this business. You talk about remembering that we affect people's lives in a positive way, and how much the knowledge that we amass over these years in our business can help think outside the box for somebody that otherwise was told no, not once, not twice, but multiple times. That was a big one for me. It's one I've been carrying with me ever since it happened. And it was a big win for her. And it was hugely, hugely rewarding to us, and a great reminder of why we do what we do every day.
Wow, that is certainly a great reminder. And it's also a great reminder for any of the mortgage professionals watching this right now of why you need to ask questions. You need to look at options and come up with a way to be able to help these families, because sometimes it's quick to say that no or move on to that next. But by bonding and having those conversations and asking those questions and really taking the time to analyze and care about solving that puzzle, right, Jamie? You mentioned that puzzle, putting those pieces together. That is what a true mortgage professional that cares does. And we have been given that privilege to serve those families. And thank you for sharing that story. That is amazing, Jamie. I'm so happy for her. All right, final question. All right, so you've been doing this for 24 years. I know you're still young there. You've got a while to go, but I want to know, what's the legacy you want to leave behind?
Ooh, that's a great question. And it's cool because my 20s and 30s, I don't think I was even thinking about legacy. But now I'm reaching this point in my career, and I think in my life, where you're really thinking about what's next, and you're thinking about, will I ever retire? I don't know. But I do know that it's so important that we pave a way for the people that are working their way up in our industry today, and even the people that will come after them. Being a woman in our industry like yourself, and you and I've had a chance to have many really great conversations about this, we know what it took to kind of fight our way to finding our voice and having a place in our business. And so I'm really excited about the fact that even over the last 5 years, that struggle is not as difficult or as real as it was once. There is still a long way to go. So one of the biggest legacies I would like to leave is to continue to be part of this massive positive change that we're seeing in our industry, and I think as a nation, and continue to extend a hand to those people who are coming up in our business, helping to make their journey less of a struggle, and let them spend their energy refining their craft, finding their path, offering their value, instead of having to fight so hard just to find a seat at the table. And if that can be my legacy, then I think I've carved out a little place and made a little bit of a difference in the world. And I think that that's really what matters at the end of the day.
I love that. And yes, you are on that path to leave that legacy. And I think, you and I have spoken about this, that I'm very happy at what I'm seeing. And I can't even imagine where it's going in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And yes, we will be there cheering on and supporting and being every piece of support for all of those women and newcomers to our industry. Jamie, thank you so much for being on What's Your Why Wednesday. Thank you for sharing all of your insights. You are truly amazing, and all the best.
Thank you so much.